Hello, and we are back. We are going to be previewing New Zealand versus Pakistan. It's an historic rivalry in the semi-finals. We've been seeing them in semi-finals since '92 World Cup. Last time around when they met in the semi-final in '92 World Cup, Pakistan went on to win 2007 World Cup semi-final. Pakistan went on to win '99 World Cup semi-final. Pakistan went on to win. Good record against New Zealand for Pakistan. They also have an head-to-head better record against New Zealand. So Pakistani fans, embrace and brace yourself for something coming up tomorrow. So we're going to be talking about that, but we're going to be statistically analyzing the team. Understand? We're not going to be talking about previous records. Everything can be put to the waste, and we're going to be talking about this tournament, current form, understanding players as to how they've come about. I have Jaren and Sandeepani with me. Firstly, I get to Sandeepani. You're already donning the New Zealand grace, and it looks like you already know who you're supporting for tomorrow's game. But yeah, talking about this game, how do you see these two teams coming up? Let's talk about New Zealand because nobody rated them to be at the top of the table at the start of the tournament. And for Pakistan, they made the last moment entry. जो एक टिकट बचता है ना last day show के लिए और first show के लिए the last ticket, they got the hold of that, they made it through, and it's like booking a ticket and the final moment you get one seat. So Pakistan have booked that seat. Which team can be dangerous in that regard? Because a backside entry can always, give you that threat. That's what Pakistan possesses at this point. When it comes to New Zealand, they're the most consistent of the teams. They've been playing good cricket over a longer period of time. So how do you see this coming up?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a surprising call. Like at the start of the World Cup, you would have probably thought that Australia and South Africa would make it to the semi-finals because they were the favorites on paper at least. But we have seen that New Zealand dominated Australia from the first game, and then they staked their claim to the top spot in their group. And then you had Pakistan who inched their way to the semi-finals courtesy Netherlands upsetting South Africa in such a way. So I think both the teams reached the semifinals in contrasting tones. New Zealand, I mean, we can just have this written right now that New Zealand are going to make it to any ICC tournament semifinals. You can have New Zealand in it because they have been, I think, one of the most consistent teams in ICC events. No matter what player they have, no matter how they are performing leading up to the ICC tournament, when the tournament comes, all the players starts to click and they come together as a team and give you this sort of performances, and it's been dominating. Apart from the game against England, I think New Zealand have actually dominated the field. Yeah, we might say that the first game was going to be the most important game other than the game against England, and they actually started off brilliantly, but to go at it brilliantly, they had a good net run rate. They defeated Ireland and Sri Lanka in by some big runs, so that their net run rate could give them that boost. And after all, it all came down to that net run rate. And then New Zealand qualified as the toppers of that group. So I think New Zealand have the momentum with them. They won't be very happy with the last two games that they played because they could have had a convincing.
Just to stop you there, we have got some questions regarding the app, so it's always important to clear that out first. I'm just sorry to stop you there. Mr. Dream Lover, what we can say is that if you're playing fantasy, I can guarantee you how you're gonna go and win every game. It's the case with every fantasy. Remember, it's a free-to-play app. You're not wasting any of your coins. Every day when you come, you're gonna get 100 coins extra in your app. So don't worry about it. There's always everyday bonus for you when you log into your app. And remember, there's zero financial risk. One day you will make it to into fantasy. When it comes to prediction, remember, just stay tuned to our app so that you don't ever know, right? There could be days when you're going to be giving out AirPods. There could be days when you're giving out some bigger prices. So stick to our app. Remember, we are a free-to-play app and we have zero financial risk. So keep trying in your fantasy. You will come and we'll be giving you fantasy tips for that very reason. So just stick on to that. That's why this whole show is all about, and that's what the preview is also all about. I'm sorry if I'm unable to clarify it, but I'm trying to. I'm trying to. If it's prediction, just yeah. If there is anything more, I will put the email address on the comment section. You can mail to us, or you can DM us on Instagram right now. The Instagram is in the bio. Link Instagram it. Give us the problem. We can sort it out. Just to talk about the app section, let's come back to the game. It's more important. I'm so excited for this. I'm personally very excited. To be honest, it's the most exciting World Cup cricket World Cup in T20s I've ever witnessed. 2007 में काफी छोटा था मैं, so I did not really have the vibe going on. Though my
Yeah, I
relatives
think.
and everyone is super pumped about it.
I
So
think you
the
saw in 2007 when we were younger, we saw the World Cup in a different light. It was all about the excitement. It was all about you saw it as it is, but as you grow older, and especially when you get into the data side of things, that's when you start seeing it in a completely different light. And so I think both the experiences are their own. But now I think this time around, if you look at it, even data wise, it is a very exciting World Cup overall, the way it's gone so far.
Absolutely. I think we will pull out the data, but before that, I'll come to you, Jaren. I just want to know your take on it. Let's talk about Pakistan, right? They've been a dark horse in every tournament they go. And what makes Pakistan the most dangerous team out of the four is that their unpredictability. You don't know which Pakistan is going to turn up tomorrow. If it's a Pakistan who's going to be fearless, then God God save New Zealand. And not just that, then they are the red hot favorites to clinch the cup. And I'm pretty sure that Pakistan team is going to be pretty dangerous. And Babar Azam, kudos to him. I think it's time we appreciate him. We were the only channel who was ready to appreciate him then. We're told that I'm not saying he's the most analytically astute captain. I still have a reservation on that. When it comes to man management, this lad has got something about it. Pakistan media can talk something else, but this lad has got something about him. He's pulled up a team together. They're a bunch of very nice lads playing. Just forget
Yeah.
what's the political tension between Pakistan and India. Let's look at the cricketing things. Appreciate them. They've only conceded more than 100 runs per strike rate to one batter. That's Virat Kohli. Every batter, if you look at the entirety, they ball close to I think 300 and 300 and I think they ball 405 balls, and they've just conceded 395 runs to other batters except Virat Kohli. So it had to be Virat Kohli brilliance to take on the Pakistani bowling attack. And this Pakistani bowling attack has been one of the best bowling attacks in this tournament, and actually the best bowling attack of the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been their strength, right? I mean, Pakistan has always traditionally been a team which balls really well and their batters just about manage. And that's where this team is the most dangerous. You see, whenever Pakistan has gone on to win a World Cup or a trophy, you'll always see that the bowling unit overall has stepped up and their batting is just enough managed to give their bowlers something to bowl at. Or the bowlers are able to make sure that the target is not high enough that the batters are not able to chase it down. So that's where they are a traditional bowling team, and this team has stepped up. I think one thing we always spoke about is how their batters will struggle in this year's World Cup, even leading up to the World Cup, and that's exactly how it's gone. But their bowling, we knew, especially with someone like Harris Roth in their lineup, who knows how cricket is played in Australia, who actually came into the Pakistan team because of the kind of cricket he played in Australia. And on the other hand, I think overall, one thing that has really impressed me is the fact that Shaheen Shah Afridi has really not come to the party yet. He did ball excellently against Bangladesh, but that's probably the
Mhm.
only match where you saw him leading the attack. Aside from that,
Yeah.
Harris Roth, Naseem Shah, Shadab Khan, they've all stepped up. They've all raised their
Yeah.
hands, and that's the reason why this team has done well. Because I mean, after that, the first two losses, they were really taken back. I mean, the fans were
Mhm.
going after them, but yeah, as you mentioned, we did say give them the chance. The World Cup is not over. Anything could happen, and what what a turnaround it has been for them. I think it came out of nowhere. To be honest, we were like, again, we say this again and again. We were expecting it to be a toss up between India and South Africa, who would end up at the top place. That's how it looked logically, but often not in this World Cup. Logic has been one of the first things to get eliminated, and then I think the
Mhm.
teams. But I think now Pakistan have got a
I
chance, and
think
it's
th-
a
I
redemption.
think that's
It's
what
a redemption
makes
year, and
this World Cup the most beautiful one as well when you compare it with any other World Cup. The fact that there's an unpredictability around the tournament and the nature of the tournament in itself is so Pakistan favorite, Pakistani stick or whatever. If there's a word like that, I'm trying to
that is the
create
most
one.
unpredictable. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to use the word Pakistani like, but a Pakistani stick kind of unpredictability surrounding the air around the tournament has been such, and the fact that Pakistan's record on Australia was so bad leading into this tournament, the way they've been able to turn it around. I know they just got one win against a major team. Two of their wins, you still say they would have still gotten the better of them. So they've got three wins, and tomorrow if they get a win, then whoever is going to be the opposition they're going to be facing in the final, they will start as one of the red hot favorites to win the cup, isn't it? Sandeep Bani.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what will be the case if Pakistan goes on to win against New Zealand, because the team who wins tomorrow will be heading into the finals with some momentum. Because even if New Zealand wins, New Zealand have always been consistent in ICC events. They top their group. If they go on to defeat Pakistan, they are going into the finals very confident. And even if Pakistan goes on to win tomorrow, then Pakistan have come back from the dead, literally from the dead, because at one
Yeah.
point after the defeat against Zimbabwe, nobody would have predicted that Pakistan could uh, somehow go and get that semi-final spot, because the probabilistic chances of it happening was very less, and they needed many things to go in their way, and it did. So Pakistan have made it, and if they go on to win tomorrow, I think they it will look that they are destined to win the cup. So
Yeah.
anybody that wins tomorrow will go into the finals as like very confident. But I think I still feel the semi-final between India and England, the winner of that game will be
Yeah.
the winner of the World Cup, because I think both the teams are more balanced in terms of players, and both the teams have been
No, no.
more
Why I
consistent.
say that, that's a very good point which you put, and I've always believed on. I made this point earlier on the live as well. The
Yeah,
winner of India with England will be the winner of the World Cup, because this final was destined to happen a long time ago. Since 2016, England has made it to every knockout of ICC tournament, and India has made it except the 2021. And everybody wanted an India England final, and this never happened. You remember? You just look back at it. Since 35 years, they've not met in an ICC knockout. And especially in the last 7 years, the rivalry brewing. There's no rivalry. The quality of the teams have really increased in the white ball format. The two most consistent
Yeah.
teams in the white ball format has been India and England. And finally, they're getting to play in an ICC knockout, and it is the World Cup semi-final in Adelaide. And I don't know why isn't there a lot of hype about this game. People are already concerned about India
and
versus
I think
Pakistan in the final.
at semifinals in ICC, or probably not ICC events, but World Cups in at World Cups in semifinals, India versus England, both have won one encounter each. India won the 1983 World Cup
Yeah,
semifinal.
yeah,
England won the
yeah.
1987 World Cup semifinal. So it's 1-1,
Who
and after
doesn't
35
remember,
years, we'll
man?
get to see another
Where
semifinal.
is Kapil Dev's army? Lehrado, boys, come on, get the movie in. Let the songs play. Come on,
But
who's
more
winning?
interestingly, England came to India and defeated them in the 1987 World
Yeah,
Cup
yeah.
semifinals,
But it
which
was a very close game, right? I think India lost by four
definitely.
runs.
But
They lost by 4 runs, was it? I think it was David Gover
four or
and
five, yeah, it was very close, and also India were the favorites heading into that game, because they were the
oh
defending
yeah, India
champions and they
were.
were playing at the home ground.
India were, and that revenge is still pending. 35 long years and counting, and what an occasion! But it's. I'm already excited for that game. But let's not get carried away. Let's come back to this game.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up the Pakistani batting order for you and their stats in this tournament, because they've been one of the best. Uh, they've been one of the best teams when it comes to their middle order batting. For the difference, let's make it clear. They've been one of the best middle order batting teams of this tournament. Unlike the Pakistan we expected to turn up in this tournament. That is why this Pakistan
I
team
would
is so
actually not
dangerous,
call
man.
them the one of the best middle order batting teams in this tournament. I
No,
would say that
statistically speaking, they are, but logically speaking, they have
yeah,
issues.
logically
Let's
speaking, and I think the runs that they have scored have come against Bangladesh, and the majority of the runs, and yeah, the game against India, Iftikhar Ahmed played a great knock, and so did
South
Shan.
Africa.
Yeah, against South Africa as well. But South Africa, the conditions were
That's
really
three games out
consistent.
of five, and I'll give that to them. So I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah, definitely. And I would have, if anybody would have said it to me at the start of this World Cup, that Pakistan middle order is going to be their savior with the bat, I wouldn't have believed it, because leading up to the World Cup, we had no performances from this middle order apart from Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. So for a change, this has been a great effort from them, especially from Mohammad Harris and Iftikhar Ahmed. I think these two players have made the difference. Obviously, Shan Masood plays the anchor role, and as you can see in the graph itself, at a strike rate of 115 or 134, he has helped Pakistan to sort of lay that foundation from where players like Iftikhar Ahmed, Shadab Khan, Mohammad Rizwan, Mohammad Nawaz, rather, and Mohammad Harris can have a go. But Mohammad Harris has been that enforcer in this Pakistan camp, who has come in at number 3, even though he has played just the 2 or 3 games. But the difference, the impact that he has made in those 2 games, and I think those 2 games were the most critical games for Pakistan to qualify, because it was against South Africa and against Bangladesh, two absolutely
Yeah, I
do or
think
die
we'll talk about
encounters.
it, because
Yeah.
when we look into Mohammad Harris's impact, a strike rate of 200. I know he's only scored 50 runs in this, 59 runs in this World Cup, But that strike rate of 200, we often emphasize about strike rates in T20
Yeah.
format and how it can really shift momentum. This is a clear testament to a strike rate in T20 format. The moment you have strike rate, you have strike rate in excess of 180 or 150. Anything in excess of 150 is very good. That's why Shadab, he's played one impact innings that was against South Africa where he scored the fastest 50. But other than that, he's been hot and cold when it comes to his batting performance. But Mohammad Harris has to be the player for me. That many people are believing it's like a 92 repeat because of Inzamam Ulak's introduction into the team in the latter stages of the World Cup where they thought they're not gonna have a chance. Then he comes and plays some impact innings, especially the one which he played against New Zealand in the semi-final, stands out. So Mohammad Harris will be having his eyes on trying to repeat that glorified innings of Pakistan history. But yeah, we have an interesting question here, Jen. I think it's going to be important to take
Yeah,
that
I mean, I
question
was
as
just
well.
looking at the same thing. Yeah,
Uh,
I would go for it. I would definitely go for it. And I think I would probably not push Barber down as much as I would push Rizwan down.
yes,
And I
that's my
feel,
point. Yeah.
yeah, I think Barber cannot play after the power play. I mean, it's very harsh. He's one of the better batsmen out there technically. But in T20s, he cannot play after the power play because he will struggle to up the ante. If he's struggling to up the ante in the power play, you can imagine how difficult it will be when the field is spread out. So I think Rizwan for me is a number three batter because he can be that anchor player who can bat at maybe 135, 140, and Harris can give them a very good start because in the previous match against Bangladesh, the partnership that they had, I think it was 53 or 65, if I'm not wrong, was the worst. I mean, the slowest ever partnership in the history of T20 cricket by a full nation team for the first wicket, and that's how bad it has been. This partnership is really. It's not just that this partnership isn't performing in terms of impact. It's also just weighing them down. There's a lot of negative impact that this partnership is bringing, and I know for 2 years they've done extremely well, but maybe it's time that you look at a different balance of things, and I think this is probably the best way to go. So others got spot on in terms of pushing someone like Mohammad Harris up the order. But the only thing that I would say is, he has only played two matches yet. I mean, he did play well against the South Africans and then against the Bangladeshis, but it's just been two innings. There's a lot more that will be questioned now because 59 of two innings is pretty good, but it's time maybe that he will have to do the same thing in against New Zealand and against India or England, whoever comes in the finals. That's where the test will begin. But right now he's looking really good.
And that's a good thing, to be honest, for Pakistan cricket
Yeah.
because they
And I'll
want their
just
player
add
to
to
prove.
that, I think Mohammad Harris at number two should be a tactical call as well. I mean, it's not sure whether Pakistan will go for it or not because Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam has done the bulk of the scoring as openers for a long time now. Yeah, conditions were different, but they have done it for a long time now. But another thing, Tim Saudi has a great record against both Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam in T20 internationals. He has dismissed both of them twice, and both of them strikes at a strike rate of 100 or less against Tim Saudi. So that is another very interesting stat which Pakistan can look and probably push Babar or Rizwan down the order and probably implement somebody like a Mohammad Harris up the order.
Good, good choice there. I like that take which you have also brought in. But there are two things in Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam also. So you'll have to play both of them in the lineup. But in T20 cricket, it's also about how you utilize your resources. Where can you
Yeah.
possibly utilize someone like a Babar and Rizwan better? It's opening the batting. So you have to take that into account. And with Mohammad Harris, you can play him anywhere. You can play him at number three, number four, number five because he's got the game to take on the fast ballers. He's got a game where he can come in and change the game. Even the last game, where he played against Bangladesh, there was a time where the momentum was slightly shifting to Bangladesh, but then he came and played that very impactful knock once again. 30 runs,
Mm.
30 runs is good enough. 30 runs is good enough of 20 balls at a
And if
strike
he
rate of
can
more
do
than
that
180.
consistently at number three, then why promote him? And then you never know. Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan have been world class batters at one and two. Yeah, the strike rate has been a problem. Yeah, they have played in pitches that were not similar to Australia, and they are finding it difficult to adjust to the bounce and pace of this pitch. But you never know. Classy player, technically very stable player, Babar Azam. He might come good tomorrow as well, opening the innings for Pakistan. So it's with all these class players, it's just a matter of one or two innings. And personally, I don't think that teams should experiment a lot with their combination and how they need to implement. Other than if they want to surprise the opponent with some tactical decisions, that they can do. But this sort of major decisions of shifting openers, because Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan hasn't batted at any other position apart from opening for a long time now. We have seen Babar Azam opening the innings for Pakistan for the last 2 years, and same has been the case for Mohammad Rizwan as well. So I think to adjust to a different batting position, asking of them in a knockout game is probably too much, and I don't want to shift that balance right before the start of the semi-finals.
Your thoughts, Jaren, on that?
For me, I think it is a call that will, I mean, as Sandeep Ali said, to surprise the opponents. That's my angle there, because Saudi and Bolt will be coming at you, very well. They're gonna make sure that it's not easy for you to face their bowling. But there's one thing about especially Team Saudi that we've observed in the past few years, where if he gets going,
It's okay.
I
Go ahead.
yeah, I mean,
It's just
I
it's
don't
like
know. I mean, I
the
think
mood of the hour in
he,
Pakistan. I
he,
you
he
know
isn't
I like to
wrong.
elaborate on this. Maybe I'm sorry to cut you off because we will get a lot
Yeah,
of this. Even we're seeing it already. Even Shenwari has also. I think sorry, it was Rashidul Luck who has already mentioned about it. So yeah, I'm seeing this mood. Even Aisha did say that Babar will play a very selfish innings. It's mainly because the mood in Pakistan has been such at this point that they don't really trust Babar Azam. The mood is that the moment you get Babar Azam out, there's a better chance of them winning. And if you have to say statistically, there is a
Until and
chance. To be very honest.
unless Pakistan goes on to win this T20 World Cup, I don't think the Pakistan media is going to spare Babar Azam, especially after the defeat against Zimbabwe, because that's
They
what the
really
case
know.
is with
They
Pakistan and
know
India.
the luck has helped Pakistan team. They say
Yeah.
कुदरत का निजाम, and कुदरत का निजाम सच्ची में पाकिस्तान के लिए अभी
Yeah.
काम कर रहा है. पता नहीं कहाँ तक लेके जाएगा. कुदरत का निजाम असली में है तो वर्ल्ड कप तक भी लेके जा सकता है, क्योंकि ऐसा ही वर्ल्ड कप है पाकिस्तान के लिए. मेरे को लगता है कि 92 के बाद इतना क्लोज, इतना लक पाकिस्तान टीम के लिए कभी भी नहीं रहा था. पाकिस्तान टीम हमेशा अनप्रेडिक्टेबल रहा है. चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में पीछे से ही आया है, पर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में अच्छी क्रिकेट खेला था. चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में
हाँ,
फेसेस में अच्छे क्रिकेट खेला था, पर इस बार जिम्बाब्वे से हारना, इंडिया से हारना, और उसके बाद जिस तरीके से पाकिस्तान ने बाउंस बैक किया है, काफी मतलब क्रेडिट तो देना ही पड़ेगा कप्तान, कोच, हेडन, सबको. और इसी वजह से कुदरत का निजाम अभी काम कर रहे हैं. जब तक काम करने दो, काम करने ही दो. पता नहीं फाइनल में जाके कुदरत का निजाम अचानक बंद हो जाएगा. पर कल का मैच देखना पड़ेगा. मतलब पता नहीं है कि कौन सा न्यूजीलैंड टीम भी वापस. न्यूजीलैंड टीम भी काफी अनप्रेडिक्टेबल है, क्योंकि उन लोगों का भी बुरे दिन होता है. जब बुरे दिन न्यूजीलैंड क्रिकेट के लिए होता है तो काफी बुरा खेलते हैं उन लोग भी. जैसे हम ट्राई सीरीज फाइनल में देखा पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ, तो एज तो पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ पाकिस्तान के साथ ही है, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से उन लोगों ने पाकिस्तान को हराया, जो ट्राई सीरीज फाइनल था, और एक और मैच में हराया था न्यूजीलैंड को उस ट्राई सीरीज में, और जिस तरीके
एंड
से
आई
उन लोगों ने
थिंक
सोडी और
T20
सैंडी
आई
को
में
खेला.
रिकॉर्ड पाकिस्तान का, न्यूजीलैंड पाकिस्तान 17 गेम जीता है और न्यूजीलैंड खाली 11 गेम जीता है T20 इंटरनेशनल्स में.
You know,
हेड टू
this
हेड
question is
रिकॉर्ड.
very interesting. You know, I think we should talk about this. I was talking to Jaren, exact same thing.
yeah. I
Maybe
was
an
just
hour ago, we were just talking. We were just predicting who are going to be the bowlers. Yeah, because I'm visualizing how Finn Allen is going to take on Shaheen Afridi like he took on Mitchell Stark. He's going to target Shaheen Afridi, but will Babar Azam be courageous enough to go to Nawaz, knowing that there's a left-hander in the other
I
end,
don't think
which I
so, and
don't see
I will.
happening.
I ever since that India game, he hasn't trusted Mohammad.
And Nawaz has
Mohammad
had a
Nawaz.
horrendous tournament. He is not even confident about himself.
And honestly,
So
I think Pakistan does
I
not
think he's
need the service of
always
Nawaz with the ball at least,
whatever.
because
Yeah, I mean, go
go
ahead,
on.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah,
What I was
so
saying
I
is
think
when
Pakistan does not need the service of Nawaz with the ball right now, because especially because Pakistan, the bowlers, Shadab Khan has been doing a great job with the ball, 4 overs for him. And then there has been this quartet of pace bowlers, Nasim Shah, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf, and of course Mohammad Wasim Jr. All of them have been bowling, spitting fire on the field, and that has given that has allowed Babar Azam to rest peacefully. And I don't see him changing and shuffling, because even if you see Babar Azam's career as a captain, I think he has taken only safe decisions, and I think that is one of the
yeah,
other reasons why the Pakistan public and media are enraged by the fact that Babar Azam they lost to Zimbabwe because of some safe decisions that Babar Azam took. So I think I don't see Mohammad Nawaz getting a ball against Finn Allen, but it would have been a great tactical employ, at least 1 over.
I mean, Mohammad Nawaz has had the worst World Cup ever. Whatever has gone wrong with Pakistan, Mohammad Nawaz has been dead in the center of it. The India match, he was bowling the final over. Against Zimbabwe, he was in that he was the last recognized batsman to go get out when it was 3 to win of three. Not only that, he also took a dot ball with him when he got out. Then against South Africa, when they were sort of building a partnership, he got out on a
But
dead ball, which he edged. But by the way, he edged it onto his pad and he ran back. He thought he's run out, but the ball was dead, which again, takes you back to the India game where they expected when the ball hits the stump, Virat Kohli was out. So I think Pakistan needs to have a seminar on the dead ball rule
Bowling rules.
in ICC
Yeah.
rules
rules.
in
I think
general,
that
rules
way
in
it'll be
general.
possible.
Again,
Rules
the
in
no ball
general, to be
controversy was
honest.
useless.
and then and then I think, given what has gone wrong with Nawaz so far, I have a feeling he might not play for Pakistan for quite some time. I know how unforgiving Pakistani management can be, and it seems at this point in time he's not done with the bat as well. If you look at the stats that Abel pulled up a little while ago, he's not done well with the bat as well. Probably the only two batters I think who's done worse than them is Asif Ali and Haider Ali, who by the way have scored much less runs than all the tailenders. And I'm talking about individual. Like Shahil Shah Afridi scored more runs than them. Haris Rauf has scored more runs than them. Naseem Shah has scored more runs than them. That's a separate topic. But yeah, I think that's the reason why Mohammad Nawaz, I don't think he's trusted in the Pakistan team, and he is very low on confidence. But I think that would have been a very good ploy because they're playing in a used pitch. That could have been the
Mhm.
best way to go for Pakistan because Pakistani fast bowlers, I think, on a used pitch are very, very useful when they come to the end last few overs because they ball those cutters into the pitch. And maybe
Mhm.
you can have Nawaz ball a few overs in the power play and make sure that the new ball is
I don't know
not
if
that
it's a
easy.
huge pitch, but it all depends on toss as well. What teams will be choosing. Pakistan have always preferred to chase, especially in most of these occasions. But then, is it a good idea to chase in Sydney against a New Zealand team who are comfortable setting targets and defending? So this is where the question and dilemma of the Pakistan team comes into play. But talking about that, I think we'll have to analyze even more and look into
And
New
I think
Zealand
New Zealand
batting.
have been spectacular in Sydney itself. I think Sydney has been
Yeah,
their
I think
hunting
let's look
ground.
at New Zealand batting. Let's analyze them, how they've gone about, how their tournament has been. If you look, one of the best players for them has been Glenn Phillips, one of the top
And no
run scorers in the
surprises
entire
really because
tournament.
he was leading into this World Cup, coming into this World Cup in great form. He
Yeah.
has had an average of close to 50 in T20Is in 2022, and he continued his run of form. He looked splendid in that middle order. I think the only game he did not contribute in a great way was in the game against Australia, where he got out cheaply. Other than that, I think he has made amends. He has at least got a start, and with both Kane Williamson and Devon Conway not striking at a very high, like not striking in excess of 120. That is when Finn Allen and Glenn Phillips become so important for this team. And also you have the likes of Jamie Nisham, Daryl Mitchell, and obviously Mitchell Santner at number 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 5, 6, 7 for them to sort of get that last minute boost to a higher total.
Hmm. I mean, there are reports which says that Babar Azam will be coming at number 3 tomorrow. So, interesting turn of events happening. I'm not sure where to go in with those reports, but we will talk about it later on in the live. I think now we'll talk about the New Zealand team even in depth. Jaren, if you look at this New Zealand team, the leading run scorer has been Glenn Phillips, of course, but then the foil to them, one of the thing has been Devon Conway as well. He's not had the best of tournaments. We expect someone like Devon Conway to even have a better tournament than what he's had now because he's one of the most consistent batters across formats in the last couple of years. And Finn Allen, on the other end, has played two impactful innings, which has really helped his team to cross the line. 130
Yeah.
odd against Ireland and 142 of 16 balls against Australia, which really set the tone for this Kiwi team, isn't it?
I think for them, to be very frank, it's been Glenn Phillips all the way. He's been someone who's consistently coming and putting in performances. I think the Ireland game is the only game where he missed out, really, if you think about it. And I think aside from that, he's been very good. He's been consistent, and that's something that Glenn Phillips was not able to do a lot often before. He was able to show some flamboyance, but he was never getting going on a consistent basis. But this World Cup, it's been his World Cup. He's done everything right. The only thing I can think of that he didn't that went against him is when he had the double cramp, if you guys remember, right after the Sri Lanka game, where he pulled hamstring on one muscle and then trying to stretch that one muscle, one leg, he pulled the other one as well. I mean, aside from that, everything has gone well for him. But I mean, look at the numbers. I mean, those are just exceptional numbers right there. I mean, you don't see that kind of striking. To be very honest, I mean, he is done well on all three counts, and that is where you see his impact, right? He's scored
And I think the
195
only player
runs.
that has bettered him in this tournament is Surya Kumar Yadav so far. I think
Oh
apart
yeah,
from him,
definitely.
all the other
I
batsmen he
think
has.
when
Yeah.
you guys see his strike rate, I think he's striking at 193 for the runs that he scored, and that's just extremely. I think that's pretty. If this is one person you can compare him to, is Mr. 360. But I think at an average of 48 at 163, that is just exceptional batting. And in T20, it's very difficult to get going at that rate. I mean, look at someone like Glenn Phillips, Finn Allen, sorry, who's doing something similar, but his average is only 22.7 because you live by the sword and die by the sword, and that's what it's usually. But here you have Glenn Phillips who's living by the sword and not dying, and that has been the biggest problem for teams because if he is scoring 50 runs at that pace, that's just extremely difficult to come back from for any team.
Yeah,
But
that's a good.
also, I think Jaren, to have a Glenn Phillips do that, you also need a Finn Allen to give that sort of a start to them, because both Kane Williamson and Devon Conway, who are the other two players in the top four, have not been going at a strike rate in excess of 120. So that forces the other two players to sort of get their games going and then strike at a better strike rate, and then sort of try to push their net run rate further. And I think that is where I think Finn Allen has done a decent, or not a decent, he has done a great job, because 22.5, he is averaging at a strike rate of close to 190. So basically, he has been taking on the bowlers. He has not been wasting any deliveries. And if you ever if you try to see that run percentage versus ball percentage chart of Finn Allen, it is always going to be in favor of him. He has a great impact in the
No,
game,
he's
and I
played
think New Zealand
impactful
definitely
innings,
needs
right?
it.
He's not played
Definitely.
innings which has really looked on a bigger scale when it comes to stats.
No,
But
it's just a
impact
good
is such a
impact.
yes, that's so important because in T20 we often talk about yeah, you need runs to show, but then the fact is impact is more important than the stats. That's why people don't rate Babar Azam the kind of rating he really deserves. But then that's also a fact. It's a sad fact, but it's a reality. It's a harsh truth that impact matters over the kind of stats. And when you're playing
Hmm.
impactful innings, you need someone to go on to play longer innings as well. So that's where I think
Yeah.
he's done a decent job. I think we should look at the New Zealand bowling attack as well. Meanwhile, as we're heading into the further into the live, New Zealand bowlers have been so impressive. Likes of Sandner has been the leading wicket taker for them. Tim Southey, time and time again, he runs and picks up wickets, stays economical, and also Lockie Ferguson have been the middle overs enforcer. He's been able to go out there, ball quickly, put the batters in the back foot. Is not giving anything away. He's no, this is one of the most consistent Lockie I've seen. Though his lead runs at times, but then he's been more consistent than ever. He's been at least able to improve on his no balls, which he used to ball a
Yeah.
lot towards death overs. He balled one against Sri Lanka, if I remember, or against England, if I remember. He balled one of them. But other than that, he's done a decent job, and his Sodi has been one of the biggest positives as well. Just got under 7 runs per over, picked up 6 wickets, has been bowling in very good tandem with Mitchell Sandner. So positives for them: a well-rounded bowling attack of five bowlers. They've not really gone on to try other bowlers as well, which we
Yeah.
usually don't see from New Zealand. New Zealand
And
brings in a
it really
Jimmy
shows
here or there.
how successful they have been. If you look at Pakistan on one end, I mean, I'm not saying anything against Pakistan, they've got the resources, but it's very rare when you see just five bowlers being used and still a team having such a success because they have been. I mean, we saw earlier in the earlier life in terms of the impact data that Crickwiz had produced that New Zealand has done well everywhere, and that's where I think the only thing, to be very honest, this is New Zealand's World Cup, and as we discussed, it is New Zealand's World Cup to lose from here, and they have been easily the best team. I think there was one team who was probably challenging them was South Africa, but then you know what South Africa can do, and South Africa did pretty much the same. I think we probably should have an episode on South Africa and ICC tournaments. We'll probably have that
We
after
will,
the
we
World
will.
Cup is done, but
But yeah,
it's
I
an
just looking.
interesting.
I brought in the impact chart once again.
Yeah, there
The
we go.
only team
If
to
you look
have
at right there,
all bases
they've
covered.
been. Yeah, I mean, and no other team has done that, right? And I know. There hasn't been a huge. I would say they haven't done well everywhere in the same. What do you say? In the same
Parameters.
volume or somewhere have been really impressive, but they've done everything correct, and everything has been right for them so far. The only match that they really struggled was England, where they went away from Sydney. But tomorrow they're playing in Sydney, which means they are going into that match with some sort of similarity with the venue, and they'll be hoping that that comes into the game as well.
Interesting
And I
that you
think
bring
that
that
is
up.
something this is something that we expect from New Zealand cricket. The template that we have seen. You won't see any bowler who has been the leading wicket taker or any batsman who has been the leading run scorer in the tournament, but you'll have all the five bowlers that have been in close vicinity of the top bowlers in this tournament, and that just goes on to show their consistency. And on different days, you have different stars of New Zealand shining and winning the games
Yeah.
for them, and that I think is a very
I
important feature
can't
that this New Zealand
stress
team has.
on the fact that people say they punch above the weight. I really don't see them punch above the weight. They are a
I think
very
it's
good
just
team. They
quality
are a
players putting on
complete
quality
team.
performances.
No,
They are
I
a
think
complete team.
what I think what happens with this New Zealand team is, when you look at star quality, I think that's what people usually refer to
So
when they talk about it.
on
I'm not
paper,
saying
when
that,
you compare them with player to player, they might not be the
yeah,
best team.
that's my
But
point.
when
That's the
you
As a
point.
team, I think they are
But
very
it's
dangerous.
always them. I think in New Zealand, you play a match against New Zealand, most often than not, it's 11 players or 11 players who put everything together. You're facing all 11 of them on that day. You won't see any mistake. I mean, not mistake rather, but you won't see anything missing in terms of commitment. Everyone is throwing themselves at the ball. You will see even someone like, I mean, for example, when you see them playing in test matches, you'll see
Mhm.
someone who like Kyle Jamieson, who's probably balled 15-20 overs, putting in a dive when Santner is bowling or Michael Bracewell is bowling. And that's the kind of commitment this
Mhm.
team has. You will
Yeah.
not see them, you'll not see the energy dip in this team ever. Whatever
I mean,
it
this is a
is,
very
they
good
will be sitting
question which
down.
SS98 has asked as well. Because we can talk on similar lanes. Because New Zealand, when you talk about New Zealand, they like to play as a team. They don't like to tinker a lot, but they at the same time they're tactically a very good team. They know
Hmm.
what to be done tactically, so they understand that Issoudi did not have the best of seats against Pakistan. So, is there a chance of Issoudi being replaced? Because Issoudi had as a negative matchup against Nawaz. Nawaz has really taken him on in the Tri Series, had taken him on. And when it comes to Michael Bracewell had kept Rizwan and Babar quiet for the longest period of time. He's been very accurate, and it also adds depth to their batting attack. Do you see that
Yeah.
call happening, or will they not tinker with the good bowling tandem which is put in place?
No, I think because this is a semi-final match, I don't expect them now to really make a change. I mean, it's not a beyond New Zealand, to be very honest. But I mean, Isodi hasn't done bad. He's balled at 6.78 runs per over. Tomorrow's pitch is going to be conducive to spin, and it's not going to be a difficult place to bat in, I would say. So I don't know if Michael Bracewell would be their choice, because Sodhi has done well, and I know Mohammad Nawaz has done extremely well against him. But tactically, you would see them probably not throw the ball to Ish Sodhi when Mohammad Nawaz is coming on to bat. And the way
Mhm.
Mohammad Nawaz has struggled, I don't know it'll be that long that they will have to hold them for that long. I mean, we did say before the World Cup as well that Mohammad Nawaz will struggle in Sydney, because the boundaries are larger, and also off the pace, the hard length becomes very important, and that's what's happened to him so far in this World Cup. So tomorrow he'll have to bat out of his skin to really trouble this New Zealand team.
Very
And
interesting. Very
but I think
interesting.
that is a very interesting question because Ish Sodi has a very poor record against Pakistan. He averages over 41, has picked up only 10 wickets in 14 encounters. So I think that should not be beyond them to try out somebody like a Michael Bracewell, because he will also give you that extra X factor with the bat as well. And I think
Hmm.
Bracewell was one of the more promising talents in this World Cup that I would have actually loved to see.
Yeah, I was
But
very
since
excited to see
Yeah, I
him
mean, we
ball.
all thought
yeah,
he's
but
going
since
to feature in
this
the lineup.
entire bowling department did a brilliant job, all of them contributed when it mattered, and I think especially because Mitchell Santner did what he did in the first game against Australia, I think that actually closed Michael Bracewell's chances in this team, because I think the only player-to-player replacement for Mitchell Santner in this New Zealand team is Michael Bracewell, and I think he's a better replacement. He has a great
But
record
another
in his short
fact is that
T20I career.
Another thing is that Pakistan is a right-hand dominant team. Except Mohammad Nawaz, they don't have a left-hander in top seven. So
Hmm.
it's a completely right-hand dominant side, and the only matchup they use for the leggy is Mohammad Nawaz. And with the kind of
Yeah,
confidence he's been in, I would say you still can go in with him. Is Sodi? Is Sodi?
exactly. That's And on the other hand, you have Sodhi who's really confident. So do you want to drop him at that stage? Someone who's been instrumental in many matches to bring you to this semi-final. Now, if you drop him, I think he'll really take a hit to his confidence.
Yeah, no, no, I don't see them dropping him because this, as I said, this New Zealand team has been a team player and everybody has contributed equally in and has their sort of contributions towards New Zealand qualify. I think all the bowlers have had equal contributions. All of them has picked up similar sort of wickets, 7 wickets, 8 wickets, and these are the
Mm.
averages. And everybody has been economical, has not gone for. Nobody has been an actual outlier in this bowling lineup. So I don't expect Michael Bracewell to come in tomorrow. But the question was very interesting because the matchup suggests that yeah, Michael Bracewell has done exceedingly well in the tri series against Pakistan as well. So I think that if they could have taken that into account as well, but I don't see them tinkering with the lineup right now because semifinals is very important. And that is exactly why I don't want Pakistan to sort of tinker with the batting lineup either. Because Babar Azam coming in at number 3, you never know how he will go after a long break coming in to play at number 3 for Pakistan in T20Is. Also, I think Tim
But
Southee has a great record against Pakistan. He has picked up 28 wickets in 17 games at an average of close to 17,
I mean,
18.
look at the
And
tournament he has had, right? He's had a very good tournament as well. He's a bowler in form. It has been very tough to hit him away. And the new ball spell, if he can pick up a couple of wickets there, and then Pakistan are going to be in the back foot either way. And I think that's why New Zealand is the
exactly,
most
and a
dominant
great
team.
matchup against two of Pakistan's most experienced batters, Mohammad Rizwan and Babar Azam, actually struggled to play against Tim Southee. And tomorrow,
Yeah, because he
with
It's a nagging length. And
yeah,
if it was even India to play, talking as an Indian fan, even if it were India to be playing against New Zealand, I'd be very wary of that opening burst from Bolt and Southey. And no better than Indians to explain that to anyone else. We've seen that we've had the worst of. We've been in the receiving end for a lot of games, and we've seen it since 2007, 8. They've been troubling us forever now. So. They're a nemesis for
ah,
Team India, especially these swing ballers. But talking about that, I think we should talk about Pakistan bowling as well. They've been a good bowling attack. They've been one of the best bowling attacks, and we will keep on hyping them up for the very reason that they are a team to watch out for this bowling attack alone.
yeah.
Just look at that bowling attack. Shaheen Afridi has picked up 8 wickets. Kudos to him for that. He's really come back.
he
But
had
that
I
just
mean,
one
one,
wicket
always
after 3 games,
remember.
and he was going at an average of close to 70, 80.
Yeah,
And in the
yeah.
next
I
two
mean,
games, he
remember
picked
last
up
time
seven
when we
wickets
covered
suddenly.
Pakistan, right
Yeah.
before, I think last time we covered Pakistan during South Africa Pakistan match, Shaheen Shafridi's average was right up there, and also I mean, not average, but rather his balls per wicket was right up there. His
yeah,
wickets
that's
were very
all
less,
there.
but now see where it has come.
I mean, I think the Bangladesh game has done a world of good for him, and that
Yeah,
really helped him
of course.
doing the thing. I thought Bangladesh really messed it up to an extent,
Yeah.
but if you look at the bowling attack, what's that catchy thing about it? One, no bowler other than Nawaz has gone more than 7 runs per over. Everybody has been less than 7 runs per over, which makes them a tough bowling attack to attack. They've been very consistent. They've not
Also,
gone for runs.
also look at who their highest wicket taker is. It's not Naseem Shah. It's not Shaheen Afridi. It is Shadab Khan, a spinner who's probably the
Sharaf
only
Khan
one
has
of his
been
kind.
MVP.
Yeah, he's done everything, I think, for them. I mean, anyway, I think this team, to be very honest, Shadab Khan, I rate him very highly as a batter. But any team, at least the way Pakistan sets themselves up, Shadab Khan should actually be a bonus with the bat, and his main role should be with the ball. But their batting has really been the reason why Shadab Khan has to come time and time again into this batting lineup and perform and score. But he's got it in him. Yet you
And
really
I
see
think he
that as
has
spinners
improved his batting
on the pitches.
drastically in the past
Yeah,
2 years. Before
I
that,
think
his
PSL.
stats with the bat were pretty horrible. But now I
Yeah,
think with some great performances, he has had a decent year with the bat in 2022 and 2021 as well.
yeah. I mean, I
Interesting.
think another thing you probably also notice, Abel, right here is almost all the Pakistani bowlers have their run. I mean, balls per wicket less than 24 balls, which is 4 overs that they get, and especially Mohammad Wasim and Shadab Khan. They've got some excellent, balls per wicket ratio right there, because that means Shadab and Wasim both will be able to pick up 2 or more wickets in every match that they play.
Mohammad Wasim has been a revelation for this team as well
Yeah.
because he made a comeback in that Zimbabwe game, and since then the death bowling he's been really able to cover up. He's been landing Yorkers at will, so that's a tough skill to have, and he's been doing that quite consistently. And he's bowling at good pace as well. So with Pakistan, pace has never been an issue, but consistency has been an issue. But he's been doing it on consistent basis. So that's a big positive for Pakistan leading into that semi-final against New Zealand. But talking about that, we also have a question here on how it is going to be a tactical battle. How do you see New Zealand approaching when it comes to their tactics? because I am trying to visualize that Finn Allen is going to take on Shaheen Afridi. Finn Allen is going
Hmm.
to take on someone like a Naseem Shah as well. And they will be wary of maybe a Harris Rauf. They might just try to play out Harris Rauf or even a Mohammad Wasim. And they will attack Shadab Khan with a left hander in
I
Devon
think Devon
Conway.
Conway holds the key in that. If he can somehow stay in the crease after the power play, I think he'll be a key asset for the team against Shadab Khan. I think, and he's going to take on Shadab Khan, as we saw in the
Yeah.
game against
I
Australia.
have
He
a
took on
feeling,
Zampa,
tomorrow,
and I think that
the
just disrupted
way
Australia's momentum.
I think what New Zealand will look to do tomorrow, I mean, reports are saying a used pitch is going to be brought out for the match. And if that's the case, I
No,
think New
it's
Zealand
not
will
for
go
New
after the
Zealand
ball.
match.
Oh, sorry, it's for India match. Sorry, the reports are saying that you're having a fresh pitch tomorrow, rather, for the New
Yeah.
Zealand Pakistan game. So I think that's the reason why they'll go after someone like Shadab Khan and I mean, I don't think they'll ball Iftikhar Ahmed, but probably Mohammad Nawaz. That's the two players that they'll probably go after. Whatever over comes their way, because it's going to be a fresh pitch, which means the ball isn't going to grip a lot. It's going to come on a lot quicker. It's going to skid off the surface, and they're going to go after Shadab Khan because this team, one thing that they will do is go after the best ballers in that bowling team and
No, they are
demoralize
very,
them.
very smart in doing that. If there's a left-hander,
Yeah,
they'll go after Shadab Khan. I have a
correct.
feeling they'll deploy the same
I think
tactics at the at
you will see each batsman pick a bowler they can go after, and they really stick to their guns then.
Interesting that you point that out. And I also personally feel that they'll have a similar tactics to what they deployed against Australia because the kind of variety which this team has got is very
Hmm.
similar to what Australia had. One left arm
Yep.
pace, one bowler who can hit the deck, and another quick pacer and a leggy. So this could possibly be their mode of operation. And I see them attack a Shaheen Afridi because Shaheen Afridi hasn't been able to find the swing. Even against Bangladesh, the wickets he got was of the batters trying to hit him off in a slower deck where he came out on top. But on a good surface, Finn Allen will be a danger player. He can really take on the attack. If he is able to give the momentum to New Zealand team and with the kind of form which Kane Williamson has shown in the last game, it'll certainly help to set the base for New Zealand, isn't it, Sandipani? You're on mute.
Definitely, I think. Yeah. I think
Go ahead.
definitely they should take on somebody like Shaheen Shah Afridi, and I also think they should take on Shadab Khan because if they allow the Pakistan bowlers to settle down, then that will be a huge problem for them because we saw none of the Pakistani bowlers have gone at an economy rate in excess of 7, and all the bowlers in the middle overs and in the death overs, Pakistan has especially been very dangerous, especially after the spinners come in, and in the death overs, it is very hard to get somebody of Harris Rauf's caliber to different parts of the ground, and you need some fabulous strokes. And for everything, I think wickets in hand will be the key for New Zealand because the top four holds the key. Because definitely Daryl Mitchell, Jamie Nasham, and Mitchell Santner are very capable with the bat, but they haven't had to actually come to the fore and do a tremendous job for them. If you see the number of runs that New Zealand have scored, majority of it has come from their top four. Glenn Phillips, Devon Conway, Kane Williamson, and uh, Finn Allen. I think these four players will hold the key at the top. Don't lose too many wickets at the top in the power play, and just after the power play, you can just go after the bowling. And I think that is something
Yeah.
that the players like Finn Allen and Glenn Phillips will do right from the start as well. And players like Devon Conway and Kane Williamson, if the innings from Kane Williamson against Ireland is anything that we'll get to see of him tomorrow, then I think Pakistan will be very scared of what is to come for them because they have the one of the best bowling lineups in this team, but this New Zealand team is very dangerous with the bat and with the ball as well. They have
Look
been
at
very consistent
contribution
with the
from the
ball, but
top
they are
order
very
in
dangerous
itself.
with the bat.
They have a considerable amount of contribution from the top order. Jaren, I'll hand over to you because look at New Zealand's top order contribution. In comparison with Pakistan, we understand that Babar and Rizwan has had one of the tournaments to forget so
And
far. They still
also
can
just
turn it
add to
around.
it, Abel, just add 194 runs to 468. So that makes it 662. So 662. So only after top four, the top four has contributed to 662 of the runs. And I think other than that, I think only a section 130 runs have come from players after top four. So that just goes on to show the percentage of runs that the top four has scored for the team.
Right. Do you think there's a over reliance on someone like Kane Williamson to hold these innings together if there is early wickets
There is.
which might
I
fall?
really think so. I think Devon Conway and Kane Williamson are the two batters that New Zealand looks up to, to play that anchor role. And especially I think Kane Williamson is probably the man for you, because if he bats through, I think you would really see that they're able to go a lot longer, because then Glenn Phillips gets someone on the other hand to hold the wicket. Not only that, you'll see Kane Williamson most often than not hand over the strike to Glenn Phillips. And the more Kane Williamson stays on the pitch, the more difficult it gets. He was able to play the ball really well in the Ireland match. It's a very good sign for a classy player, because you never expect Kane Williamson to really struggle, even if he faces good quality players. But tomorrow is his real test. If he gets going, or even if he scores at a 130, 140, and allows someone like a Glenn Phillips or Finn Allen to get going, I think that is where you would really expect New Zealand to be one of those difficult teams to go after. And I mean, just look at the batting. I mean, the runs that have come from the batting order, right? You would see the overall. If you look at the overall aspect of it, Pakistan has also scored much less runs in comparison to New Zealand. New Zealand has obviously played less. As New Zealand has also played lesser matches than Pakistan, because none of the Pakistan matches are washed out. New Zealand couldn't play against Afghanistan. So if you really look, New Zealand have scored more runs in terms of the amount. I mean, in terms of batting. So that's another thing that you would see how much more New Zealand's batting is comfortable, or has been comfortable this tournament in comparison to Pakistan.
Absolutely, and that's a good point. And Sandipani, you're such a bub. Oh, nice. And we have some fans of Sandipani lining up. It says, "Just love hearing you." That's so nice.
Thank you
I
so
mean, I
much,
like that.
Saini.
Yeah, I'm so excited for semis. Yeah, everyone are excited for semis. I think we had another question as well. I kind of missed it out because there's a conversation going between Aisha and Tornado in the in the chat box. So welcome Tornado to the stream. It's the first time I'm seeing you. But yeah, this question I really want to elaborate on that as well. How do you see a tactical edge when it comes to bowling? Because New Zealand bowling is going to be the deciding factor ultimately in stopping the Pakistani batting. Because Pakistani batting can be super vulnerable when it comes to alien conditions, when it comes to them losing quick wickets, and New Zealand really stamping the authority on them as well. How do you see them tactically operating? Do you see Trent Bolt really bowling 3 overs up front against a batting attack of Pakistan, trying to look up for 2 to 3 wickets at least? And how are they going to go against a Mohammad Haris? Because Mohammad Haris has got tactical deficiencies, especially as a leg side dominant player. He walks across. So if there's a good ball coming into the stump, he can be a candidate for LBWs as well against quicker bowling. How do you see that going, Sandipani?
I think definitely if Pakistan go on to open with Mohammad Haris and Mohammad Rizwan, I think Pakistan batting, they are going to come hard at the bowlers, at the New Zealand bowlers. And I think Mohammad Haris, the only reason why he'll get promoted to that opening slot is to go out there and play the sort of innings that he played against South Africa or probably against Bangladesh, but more against South Africa because he's a fearless cricketer and Pakistan would love to have him at number one, number two and attack the experienced bowlers of New Zealand, Tim Southee and Trent Bolt. If you can somehow disrupt Tim Southee's line and length, we have seen that things can go pretty wrong for Tim Southee as well. But having said that, I think both Tim Southee and Trent Bolt have great records against Pakistan. And I think they'll love bowling against somebody of Mohammad Haris because that chances will automatically come. And if New Zealand can somehow pick up that early wicket, and then suddenly you have Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan again trying to sort of re-establish the innings, and then you also have Shan Masood in the team. So I don't think Shan Masood is a player who can go at an active strike rate coming in at number 4 after 10 overs. So Pakistan trying to manage their strike rate and batsmen, I think it is going to be difficult because all the players are what to say. All the players are anchor sort of a players. They know how to take the game along. They know how to take the game deep. They go at a strike rate of 120, 125 and expect the lower middle order to come in and do the job of explosive batting at the end. But I think that will not work tomorrow. New Zealand can be pretty simple tomorrow. I think both Ish Sodhi and Mitchell Santner will operate in the middle overs because and other than Mohammad Nawaz, I think none of the Pakistan batters are left-handed, and I don't see any other Shan Masood is a left-hander batter, but I don't see him taking the attack on the New Zealand spinners. If he manages to do that, I think, and disrupt the momentum of the spinners, I think that will be a very important battle in the middle. New Zealand spinners going up against the Pakistani batters because New Zealand have been so good in this tournament only because of the way Santner and Sodhi has bowled in tandem in those middle overs, absolutely giving away nothing in the middle overs.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. I'll ask a similar question to you as well, Jen, because my personal opinion, how I see this tactical battle being won is especially how Sandner is going to be operated and how Sandner is
Hmm.
being attacked as well. Because Sandner has been their ball who has got the edge. If they want to send a Mohammad Nawaz to attack Sandner, will Sandner be able to take it? Because his record against left-hander is not the most impressive one, and hence I'm pretty keen to see how Sandner goes about it. But at the same time, Harris, his approach against Lockie Ferguson, his approach against a Trent Bolt, because it's so tough to attack a Trent Bolt or a Lockie, especially a Trent
Yeah.
Bolt and a Tim Crosby, or else anybody would have attacked them. They are so smart. They know the legs. The best part is their control. They don't get wavered with their legs. They can keep on landing the ball at their will at a particular length. So it's so tough. They know, they think ahead of the batter. They know where they line up. And the three-quarter ball with Southee has, which will come into Mohammad Harris, I think that's going to trouble Mohammad Harris quite a lot because he walks across to off stump,
Hmm.
and he tries to flick the ball in the leg side, which means they will set up fielder in the square leg and also in the deep fine leg, try to make him hit there, or maybe a pull or top pitch can be a wicket.
Yeah.
Because in Adelaide, he got away with that ball because it was short a boundary.
I think that's where New Zealand's tactical prowess will come into picture for both your questions, right? What I expect New Zealand to be really smart about how they operate in terms of in Saudi or any of the, especially the spinners. I think what I probably expect them to do is make sure that if Saudi, suppose Mohammad Nawaz is brought in, then Santner and when Santner and Ishtori start bowling, the leg side will be towards the longer side of the boundary, so that they'll ask Mohammad Nawaz to go after the bowling probably on the longer side of the boundary, or probably or probably ask Santner to toss the ball up outside off stump, and then maybe off stump offside will be towards the longer side of the boundary. Either way, I think that's probably what that trick will be. And when it comes to, I think someone like not Shan Masood, but like Mohammad Harris, what I really expect is for them to really go with Lockie Ferguson. Bring the ball into him, into his body, ask him to play the pull shot or flick the ball on the longer side of the boundary. Ask him to go after the bowling where you try and maybe pitch the ball on the off stump length, short delivery on the off stump length. Ask him to pull the ball from there. That's probably the key, I think. And Lockie Ferguson at his pace, if it's a fresh wicket, especially, he will get some more bounce, some more pace off the wicket, and it's going to be difficult for Mohammad Harris to get away with him.
Interesting that you bring that
But
up.
I've
But,
actually been very impressed how Mohammad Harris took on Enric Nortje and Rabada in that game against South Africa. So I don't actually think that fast bowling will be a problem for him. But then again, Nortje got him out right after he hit that six of Nortje. So yeah, probably Lockie Ferguson is the way to go for New Zealand against Mohammad
I
Harris.
think I think even Trent Bolt won't be a bad option because he walks
Trent Bolt will
across
be a
so
great
much.
option because he can come in from over the wicket and sort
Yes,
of
yes,
get
my
that ball
that's
coming
my
in.
exact point. Because of that angle,
Yeah.
it can really put him in trouble. That angle is a tough one to get away because the moment you walk across, Trent Bolt gets three stumps to aim at, and if he hits, if he misses, then that's it. Trent Bolt is going to strike with an LBW, and I personally believe he's got technical flaws with that. He's a good slogger of the ball, and his power game is really up, over the last 1 year, and that's a good sign. Let's look at the wickets taken by spin versus pace. If you look, the pace bowling has really dominated in both of the fronts, especially for New Zealand. Their pace bowling has been good, but the spin also has come into play with the likes of Sandal and Sudhi. But when it comes to Pakistan, it was all Shadab Khan who has taken majority of the wickets through
Yeah.
spin. So I would say
Just
spinner
to
was a
give that
pacer.
breakdown, out of the 14 wickets New Zealand has taken, I think Santner has 8 and Sodhi has 6. But for Pakistan, 10 of the 13 wickets have been picked by Shadab Khan itself. So yeah, so that just goes to
Yeah.
show the impact Shadab Khan has had in this tournament.
Interesting that you say that. What do you think, Jaren, about this breakdown as well? When it comes to we've been telling, right? Should Michael Bracewell play instead of a Sodhi? But then the partnership these two ballers have built over the last 6-7 years, it's so tough to break because they have a chemistry. They understand. They know one ball can build pressure from one end, so the other baller gets benefit of from the other end. So that's a chemistry they ball, and the chemistry they built, and that's the kind of chemistry they like to operate in the further coming ahead in the further games as well. So for this very reason, I also considering for they picked up 14 wickets in the last 5 games or 4 games they played. Uh, the chance of them removing their one spin away is very less, right?
Absolutely. I think this has worked for both the teams, to be very fair. Both Pakistan and New Zealand have done well in terms of their bowling. I don't really see any changes happening tomorrow. And Ish Sodhi has done nothing wrong, as I've already said. And they don't really need to fix anything. And, as you say, when nothing is broken, then then you don't really need to fix it. And in this case, nothing is broken. Both the teams, in terms of their play, I mean, both the teams have played really well. Pakistan wouldn't be as worried. I think I would say, I mean, as Sandimani mentioned, Shadab Khan has picked up 10 wickets, and the rest of the 3 is only picked up by Iftikhar and Mohammad Nawaz shared. That is probably the one worry for Pakistan. I think the second spinner, they have had Iftikhar to come in. It worked against Bangladesh because the pitch was conducive. It was a used pitch where when they played, and that's where the ball was gripping a little bit on the surface. But now, if you see, I think tomorrow, if it's a fresh wicket, it's not going to be easy, and that's why maybe the Pacers will really have to step up. When it comes to New Zealand, I think pretty much everything is looking good right now. Everything is looking up, and I think that's just incredible.
Good, have a good one at Kerala Cricket Freaks, and you're one of the most fortunate ones to travel to Australia, and I landed last night. Have a good one. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy the World Cup, and you've landed at the right time in Adelaide, and hope you have a blast for the England versus India game in Adelaide. It's tomorrow in Australia.
I hope Kerala Cricket Freaks. I hope you've brought some sweaters because Nalla Sanaponda, from what I know.
നല്ല തണുപ്പുണ്ട് അവിടെ. അത് മാത്രമല്ല, സഞ്ജു കളിക്കുന്നില്ല. Just for your information. Just joking, guys. Just joking.
I'm just happy that Sanju Samson hasn't come up in the comments from Kerala Cricket Freaks, and he's gone to Australia, even though Sanju Samson is not playing in this World Cup.
What if someone has told him that Sanju is playing and has booked his ticket based on that?
Maybe Kerala
that would be very sad for him, right?
Maybe he can. Maybe Kerala Cricket Freak can just confirm if he knows if Sanju Samson's playing or not in the comments while we continue with the live.
Oh my god, seriously, that's going to be funny to watch, because if he has really gone there with the feeling that Sanju is there, I am so
but I mean, I'm sure
he can come back, because I am quite sure that Sanju will be a part of the World Cup team next year.
Absolutely, and I hope, I mean, it's long due. I'm a big Sanju Samson fan. I really hope he's there, because he's now become a much more mature cricketer. That's one thing that is really, really
സഞ്ജു ഇല്ല മോനെ, നിനക്ക് ചിലപ്പോ തിരിച്ചു പോകേണ്ടി വരും. കുഴപ്പമില്ല, ഇതിനും വേൾഡ് കപ്പ് കാണാൻ.
സഞ്ജു ചേട്ടൻ ചിലപ്പം വരുമായിരിക്കും.
Apparently he saw a New Zealand squad, but then I'm sure you did not go to the World Cup for watching Sanju. I bet nobody would do that, but I hope you had a good one. Hey guys, what do you guys think about Sanju Samson as the future India captain?
Why not? I mean, there's a lot of. I would still say he has a long way to go as a captain. He has a lot of things to learn. Sometimes I feel when he's put under the pressure, when he's put under the pump, he kind of struggles to make the right decision. But he has improved tremendously, and I think whatever Rajasthan management that he has, Sangakkara and the boys right there, he's got some really good people, very tactically astute people in that management to make the right decisions for him, and the right people to learn, really, because Sangakkara himself has been a successful captain, to be fair to him, and I think a very good mentor right there. And who knows? Only thing I think the issue with probably Sanju being the Indian captain is that his profile in terms of captain is a long way off in selectors, at least in the eyes of the selectors, at least, because for some reason KL Rahul is up the pecking order, which I really don't understand. I think Sanju, for me, has been a better captain than KL Rahul.
Yeah, I don't know what to really substantiate on that, because it's tough at this point, to be very honest. If I missed out on any comments, I'll take it, because there's a huge conversation going on between Aisha and Tornado. So it's tough to really find a comment which someone has asked a question. I'm really so sorry about that. Sean is from New Zealand, as I see, and he's woken up in Christchurch and he's super pumped. Yeah, as I'm pretty sure a lot of Kiwis are across the border of Australia. I'm sure it's a big day in Australia for the Kiwis tomorrow. They've seen a lot of these. Abel, can you I think she means, can I steal your hoodie? It looks comfy and good.
I think it's steal your hoodie.
Yeah. I'm not sharing my hoodie. Sorry, guys. Absolutely no. Saloni says she's super excited for the game, and she's talking about the India versus England game. So yeah, I mean, we all are. I mean, we have to wait another day for India versus England game. I think it's already tomorrow in Australia. It's already tomorrow here also. We've crossed 12 a.m. in the morning. So I think we'll end the live right here because we've not been getting any sponsors. Once again, guys, Ocean, you see this, guys, sponsor us, and we are always at your ring. Just sponsor us for the videos. Ocean powered Boomer Live, whatever it is. I really don't care. It's very good. I think we already have manifest that Ben Stokes will come good. I'm just predicting Glenn Phillips. I'm a
We
big
won't
fan of
have the
MotoGP.
fantasy segment for the
What?
for
Yeah,
tomorrow's
I
game.
forgot that. Sorry, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. I've forgotten that. I
I think our
forgot that.
editor will be really upset if you don't
I
bring
will
that
be
up.
Yes.
really upset because
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think we'll talk about. I'll bring the fantasy. I think meanwhile you can continue with the conversation. Meanwhile, I pull the fantasy up. Talk about something,
yeah,
guys.
I
Talk
think
about
for
what is your.
tomorrow's game, I
No, no,
think
no, leave all
all
that. I don't
rounders
want to
will.
talk about cricket. Meanwhile, tell what's your favorite ever cuisine watching a World Cup.
I think let's talk about why Abel likes Ocean so much. I think that's a way to attract sponsors.
Yeah,
Because frankly, guys, I
Why
am
I like
very
ocean?
pleased
It's
with
just
it,
water. It's
and
just
it's something between
water
me
which I
and
love.
Abel because I don't understand how he can like Ocean.
What's
It
wrong with
just
liking ocean?
perplexes me. I think what is right in it. I think this is the moment you explain to us, Abel.
Dude, you're just
Why do you
possibly
drink?
thinking of the prospective for sponsor away. Ocean is such a wonderful drink. The moment you drink it, you feel the goodness in it. The taste of the fruit with the water, it's just beautiful to drink it. I just love to sip on it, and in all right senses, guys. Don't take it in bad sense. Come on, guys, don't do it. Uh, yeah, I just like sipping on these waters, and I'm absolutely loving it.
On these
And I
waters?
think what's wrong with water? Huh? What's wrong with water? I didn't
I think
understand
you're really not
why you
helping
put it on
yourself,
my
Abel,
water.
right now. I think while he finds that out, I think Sandipani, who do you think is the player to watch out for? Let's just talk about vice captain, captain
Hey
wise.
guys,
Abel
you guys are
finds.
talking about cricket. Let's bring the fantasy 11. Who's a player to watch out for? It is MotoGP. I love GP, and because I'm a huge fan of MotoGP, I'm just manifesting that GP is going to be the man to watch out for with SK, not Shah Rukh Khan. I'm talking about Shadab Khan. Shadab Khan is not a bad player to watch out for. He's a player who's one of the MVPs of this tournament so far. Would you have GP in wicket keeping list or in batting list?
I think
I think
I'll
this
have him
World Cup
on
is been in the
the
batting
batting
list.
list.
Yeah.
Not bad. And those are fantasy team for the day. We've got Finn Allen who makes it, and also another New Zealand opener who's made it is Devon Conway. He's got a very good record, right? He's got a very good record against Pakistan, and he's had very good season so far in this World Cup. He played a very important knock to start off the World Cup with, so we have had him in the team for that
And if
very
you
reason.
want, you can even start with either of Mohammad Rizwan in place of either Finn Allen or Devon Conway. I think that's another alternative that we can provide to you.
Not bad. I mean, that is a possible option here. But with what Mohammad Rizwan has not had the best of times, would you still
Yeah,
go with the
definitely. I
Mohammad
think that
Rizwan?
is why we have sort of not included him in the lineup.
Right, right. Jaren, coming to you on that because Finn Allen, I am just having a feeling he's going to have a good day on the field. What do you reckon about that? Because he's a wicket-keeping option you can pick from the fantasy team. Not a big buy. I mean, he's a risk worth. He can be an X-factor player as well if he gives you the returns.
Yeah, I think for me, Finn Allen tomorrow might do well. Look at the pitch conditions once. If the pitch report says, that the pitch is fresh, the ball is going to come onto the bat well, Finn Allen could be a man because he can really get going, especially against pace bowling, who has that kind of pace, who can get the ball, where he can really get the ball off the sweet spot of his bat. He can hit some boundaries early on, put the pressure on the team. And one thing that he can do is once he gets going, he can really come after you as a batter because he really starts dominating the game. And it's many often than most often than not you've seen if he gets going, then the ballers really don't seem to have an answer to how to stop him, and the only way you can stop the run flow is to get him out. So that's where I think he could be a
Hmm.
key player for you, and he can get you some he can be that player who can provide a risk for you early on. But having said that, I think Mohammad Rizwan has still had a decent enough average. I mean, if you're not looking at a strike rate, you're not looking at an impact. He's at a decent enough average. I think he might not be a bad pick overall if you're playing fantasy. And he is definitely a risky option to take at this point in time. But on it could be his day tomorrow, and you never know. Maybe Babar and Rizwan, wake up from their slumber and start scoring runs. I don't know if I'm being so boring because I think I've lost both Sandipani and Abel. Okay,
No, no,
I
Sandipani is
think
right
my
now.
stream is stuck, but I
You
can
will
hear
not
you.
lost anyone.
I think Abel is going to bring the next ocean bottle.
I just
Actually, my
ran
screen is
quickly.
stuck, so I can't see the team. Neither can I see you guys, but still, I can hear you.
Oh, that's nice. That's how possibly you feel when you lost the eyesight. So it's okay. You can hear me. You can hear us. That's all what matters. And we want to be a
Yeah, but
podcast channel.
yeah, speaking about talking about, I think Jaren pretty much covered the
Hey, what do
wicket
you
keeping
call for
options.
left field in Hindi?
Yeah, if you talk about left field choices, nobody would have thought that these two players could have been the left field choices for any sort of fantasy
Jaren,
team
what are you
at the
drinking?
start of the
Okay,
World Cup.
just stop it, just Nivani. What are you drinking, Jaren?
It's not ocean. That's what you want
But
to
just can you
know.
show the bottle?
All right. I mean,
Show the bottle to the
you guys
people.
caught me in the middle of it.
Is it
Whenever
sugar?
Abel, what do you say? I'm not gonna say anything to that because you drink. Basically, what you drink is okay. For those of you who don't know, I don't care about sponsorship, but ocean water tastes like water where you mix sugar. That's it with ocean water. At least this is
Nice.
aloe
This is
vera.
my favorite drink. I don't
This
even
is
know
aloe
what
vera.
show are we
It's
doing at
much
this
better.
point, but
But
I
okay,
like
fine.
this.
I mean, we're not a
Guys,
food
none of them are
blogging.
sponsoring us, so we might as well stop
Wow, this is bad.
promoting these brands.
I was not. I mean, what I always
This
do
is
is
like
whenever
good
able presents
reaction, but this is bad.
whenever Abel presents something on the screen, that's when I start drinking something. But today Abel just caught me. Uh,
Oh, that's bad. Oh, it's just not
I have
getting me to go.
ORS with me, but yeah. So this is what I've been drinking.
Guys, it's that time of the day where we really go a little mad, and I am just expecting a
No,
cutout of
talking about
this.
left field choices. I was talking about left field choices, and I think in tomorrow's game we can have Babar Azam and Kane Williamson as left field choices because both of them are sort of players who can give you those 50, 60 runs and sort of play the anchors knock and play throughout the innings and give you lots of fantasy points. But both the players have not been in the best of forms, and hence both of them haven't featured in our top 11. But definitely, when you talk about left field choices, we can go on and keep them, and they can definitely give us some rewards as well.
Yeah, they definitely can. At
oh, by the
least
way,
better
Abel, just
than.
answering your question, what do you call left field choice in Hindi? It's बाएं क्षेत्र का विकल्प, according to Google
बाईस
Translate.
क्षेत्र का विकल्प कौन हो सकता है इस टीम में बता दीजिए आप कमेंट्स में और देखिए इस टीम में एक ही एक्स फैक्टर प्लेयर हो सकता है एक्स फैक्टर को क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में
X Factor को. Give me some time. I'll go back to my friend Google Translate and get back
छोड़
to
दे
you.
एक्स फैक्टर पिक इस टीम में बिल्कुल शदाब खान ही है क्योंकि जिस तरीके से शदाब खान दोनों बॉलिंग और गेंदबाजी और बल्लेबाजी में कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते उसी वजह से आपको बहुत फैंटेसी पॉइंट कमा सकता है और मिचेल सैंडलर भी एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट विकल्प रहेगा आपके टीम में क्योंकि जिस तरीके से
Okay,
उसका
so X
फॉर्म रहा है
Factor apparently in Google Translate is called X Karak, which I don't
एक्स
think is
कारक
what it means.
छोड़ दे वो मैं मिचेल सैंडलर के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि जिस तरीके से मिचेल सैंडलर ने बॉल किया पूरे टूर्नामेंट में 8 विकेट चटकाया है और ज्यादातर राइट हैंडर्स के विकेट ही है तो देख लेना क्योंकि पाकिस्तान टीम एक ज्यादा राइट हैंड डोमिनेटेड टीम है और सिडनी में भी है गेम क्योंकि पिछले 2 मैच में मिचेल सैंडलर का रिकॉर्ड सिडनी में काफी अच्छा रहा है मेरे ख्याल से 6 विकेट लिया है सिडनी क्रिकेट ग्राउंड में मिचेल सैंडलर ने ऑस्ट्रेलिया के
हाँ,
खिलाफ भी
पहले गेम में 3 विकेट लिया था और बाकी 6 विकेट लिया है 3 गेम
6
I
विकेट
think
लिया है
for me, probably you can also look at someone like Mohammad Wasim, who's been just excellent in the death. He can be your captain, vice captain, because he can pick a few wickets and he can really, I would say disable that the threat that the batting line of New Zealand has. I think Sandeepan is already calculating in his mind whether I'm right or not, but we'll get clarification on it. But I think for me, Mohammad Wasim could be that left field choice when it comes to your captain, vice captain. Obviously, he walks into your fantasy 11 pick and. He is one of the bowlers you probably expect to do well tomorrow, but on a day, you never know what he can really produce.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Sorry, guys.
Definitely.
Abel is just trying to get his money's worth of what he really has made a bad investment.
So, talking about that investment, I like the way how this conversation has gone. So, you don't have to make any investment playing in Boom 11, guys. Zero investment. You can get only cashbacks, rewards, vouchers playing in Boom 11. This is your opportunity. So, you don't make a bad decision. You can make as many teams as you want in Boom 11 and play these contests and stand a chance to win some exciting prizes. Remember, you can win a stay. You can win some exciting cash vouchers. Remember, there are unlimited winners out there. Also, play a predictor feature. You can predict on Boom 11 for absolute free of cost. show your predicting skills, because visualizing is equal to prediction, and that's where you have to require your skills. Every game requires skill. It's not easy. घर पे बैठ के थोड़ी ना shooting, even shooting games, even car games, everything requires skill. It's about tactics, analytics, and your data. And fantasy sports is one of the best skill-based
Tactics
games
will
out there.
definitely give you the edge in games like this, and probably you will win
Edge.
more than
Edge is
people
what
who just
matters.
go for it.
And tomorrow, Southie and Bolt will be looking at Edge. Do I sound like an Indian reporter right now, taking on every word and trying to make it into a drama? But that's what I like. That's what creates people. That's what people like. Why do you think a lot of these channels have a lot of viewers? I should sound like an Indian reporter. देखिए क्या थंडर डाउन अंडर और ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हो रहा है शतरंज, न्यूजीलैंड की ब्लैक कैप्स और पाकिस्तान की ग्रीन आर्मी के साथ.
More like a drunk reporter, Evan.
हाँ, you remember that reporter in the
Yeah,
railway
Virat Kohli
station?
मचाएंगे रनों की होली. I could be a reporter.
हाँ,
Drunk in ocean.
Drunken Ocean. Wow, that's
Drowning
not a
in
bad
ocean.
song. That's not
I
a
think
bad
drowning
song.
in
If I'm making a song, I would name it as Drowning in Ocean. And I'll make. I think I can be a good song producer at some stage. At some stage. But talking about that, who do you guys have your favorites to make it to the final? One word.
I still think
Next
South
question.
Africa has got it in them. I think it's South Africa's World Cup now.
Bilkul. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally think so. What about
For me,
you,
South
Sanjay?
Africa. I think if you ask me for the second choice, probably tomorrow's match, New Zealand. But I really think South Africa has won the World Cup. It has to be that. I don't care what you think. I don't care how close the final is. This World Cup will definitely be remembered for how South Africa played it, hands down.
जी, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. और संदीप भाई, आप क्या बोलना चाहूँगा? मतलब
I'm
साउथ
rooting
अफ्रीका
for a
जीतेंगे?
India-Pakistan final and an Indian win.
Okay, I'll come in jokes apart. I think, to be very honest, Pakistan will be starting as the most threatening of the both teams. But talking about New Zealand, they are tactically a better one. My heart says Pakistan, my head says New Zealand, because of the very factor that I want to see India-Pakistan final. But at the
What I
same
hear is
time,
a very
I think
diplomatic agent right now.
tactically
what?
on
Yeah.
record,
I mean, let's
on
only
field,
finish.
I think
I think Sandeepan is facing some issue. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I
but
was saying,
I'll
Abel,
just finish off.
what I hear is you being very diplomatic. I mean, you have
No,
to choose one.
I'll be very honest.
What is in
I
England?
am
I
not.
think you
I'm not downplaying Pakistan.
Who wins?
Pakistan. I'm being very on cricketing logics. I'm going to say, because of Pakistan's bowling attack and the kind of time they peaked in the tournament, they are in with a chance to go into the final, and they can on their day dominate New Zealand. It's not a tough thing. They already won a couple of games against New Zealand before heading into this World Cup, and they can possibly repeat that again. But then this New Zealand team has peaked also in the right time. They're playing as a complete unit.
Yeah.
Hence, I would say a 60-40 New Zealand, but I like to be proven wrong because of the fact that I would like to say an India-Pakistan final. So that's the only reason why. Your thoughts, Jaren?
I mean, if Pakistan wins tomorrow, I'll be honest, I'm already getting hints of this, 2000, with the Champions Trophy final where Pakistan came into the tournament. I mean, Pakistan came into the semi-finals in an unexpected way, not as unexpected as this World Cup, but I have a feeling, this World Cup, the way it has been unpredictable, as you called it, it's been a World Cup which is equivalent to the nature of Pakistan. I have a very good feeling Pakistan might just win it, because that's what happens in semis and finals, right? It's not always the teams on paper, it's always the teams on the pitch. And Pakistan has that ability to really surprise teams. And if tomorrow Pakistan wins, I'll be very worried facing Pakistan in the World Cup finals.
Interesting. But my cricketing logic really doesn't let me to choose Pakistan as the favorites, because of the fact that a lot of factors doesn't go Pakistan's way. I just want to talk in cricketing logic, not on emotions.
Yeah, I think for me, tomorrow at least I'll be supporting. I'm not supporting as much, but at least I will be. For me, I think New Zealand has the upper hand. New Zealand will win. I'm sorry, Aisha, but if Pakistan wins tomorrow, I think Pakistan will win the final. Because the kind of World Cup Pakistan's had, you really have to come back mentally to win. I mean, come till here, because as I said, Pakistan did look nervous in that Bangladesh match, but they won that match, and from there, if they win tomorrow as well, they will be very confident, because they'll believe that it is written in their stars, and that is when a team is very dangerous, especially a team like Pakistan. When they believe they are in it to win it, that's when Pakistan is dangerous. If tomorrow they win it, I think Pakistan might just run away with the World Cup.
Oh yes,
No, I
that's a
think
good
Pakistan will win
possibility.
tomorrow. I think the odds are in their favor, taking past records and also the performances in this tournament as well. But I think India will also win in the game against England, and we'll have India Pakistan finals, and India will clinch it.
Okay, on that note, I'll end the live. I mean, he's made a statement for ages over there. I wish he had made the same at the start of the World Cup itself so that we didn't have to do all these shows. But let's end it on that note. Everybody wants an India Pakistan final on Sunday. Asian Cricket Council couldn't do it. I hope ICC's, it's going to be ICC's dream. They're going to drool over
I
this.
mean, they have
And
more
every
money as compared to the Asian Council.
so you're saying this is all fixed?
I mean, I'm
On
just
that
going
note,
by what people say.
I'll just drop the mic. I'll just drop the mic on that question. क्या World Cup fixed है कि नहीं? Comment down below. Have a good night.